Hi folks, in this video we're going to go over the library catalog, which is called Gil Find. With Gil Find, you can search the library's physical collection, and not just within CSU libraries, but in the other branches at the music library and art library that are located in the downtown campus. But you can also search the other USG institutions if we don't have enough books related to a topic that you're doing research on. So I'm going to go over some of those. I'm also going to talk about some of the features that you might find helpful within your when you're going through your research, and how you can get back to certain sources and saving your searches within GilFind. So head to the library homepage again, which is columbusState.edu/library. And if you scroll down just a little bit, you will see the library catalog icon. And if you click on it, it will bring you to the home page. So a few things I wanted to note before we do an example search. You can sign into your account, which I recommend you do because it'll make things a lot more streamlined as you do your search. But you sign in, and if you haven't, I've already signed in, so it'll just be really smooth like it was just there. But if you're not signed into your MyCSU account yet, it'll prompt you to log into your MyCSU account, and then you will be good to go like this. So a few things that you um, want to just note in the dropdown is you can go to your library account, which will bring you to any fines that you might owe, what you have already checked out. You can uh, renew books that you might have checked out, or there's quite a bit of things that you can renew online. Some things, like if you check out a laptop from the library, that you can't renew online. You have to come in to do that. But books you can renew online as long as there's no hold on it, meaning somebody else isn't requesting that book. Your loans, what we just mentioned, seeing what you have already borrowed from not just CSU libraries, but if you borrow from other institutions. Requests, if you make a request through Gil Express or Interlibrary Loan, it will give you the status of that request. And let's say that you requested a journal article through Galileo, and you get an email that says it's here. You can download it through the My Requests section. RefWorks is a citation management tool. It's very popular. A lot of people like it. So you can get to, if you use that, that's a quick link there. Your saved items, I'm going to show you a few ways that you can save not just books that you find through your searches, but you can also save your entire search terms that you use and the limiters that you use within the filters. Often what can be really frustrating is when you have to stop and then start research again. Sometimes if you don't write it down, it's hard to remember what search terms you used, what filters you used to get back to an exact search results list. Well, here it will save. If you save it, you can get back to it fairly easily. Um, and one other thing to note, when you're searching the catalog, you're going to want to make sure that it says Columbus State University, but you can also choose to search the entire USG system, which will allow you to request a lot of the most of the time. If there is a book that we don't have access to, we can request it through Gil Express. That goes to the other institutions within the University System of Georgia, and I'll show you up until a certain point, so I don't actually request the book, but you can see what it looks like up until the time we have to hit submit. So let's use some search terms from a previous search. Okay, so this is the search results for everything available within CSU libraries. So we have access to some ebooks that are available online. Available in the library is obviously our physical collection. We have some peer-reviewed and open access journals. Open access just means that there is no paywall. Anybody can access these. Um, like Galileo, you can select the format. So in this case, we probably want to look at just books. But if we scroll down I don't mean to do that. So if we scroll down some of the other filters that you can use, like Galileo, there's subject, there's different formats that you can narrow things down to. So, um, and then location is main third floor means the main campus library. On the third floor is where most of our books are on the third floor. The music library is in the downtown area, and the reference section is also on the third floor, but it's a separate area. So you'll see it if you come to the main campus library. You'll see where the section is. So um, let's do available in the library. And so it looks like the most recent we have is from 2021. So let's refine it within a 2-year period. And this may or may not be helpful, but let's say it's not, and we need to kind of expand our search. We can look through the USG system just by clicking on that drop down, resubmitting the search. And then, as you can see, we have a lot more search results to work with. Now, it also reset our limiters, so we want available in the library, and then we want books. And then let's change the date range to the last 5 years. And now we're down to 31 results. So this is a much more manageable list of resources that we can look through. But notice how now it says find and request. This means that it's, remember, we're not searching through CSU catalog, we're searching through the university system. So let's say this book, this first one, is perfect for your research. What you can do is, okay, we know it's not at CSU, but it is at another USG library. So click on Valdosta, and sometimes it will be available in multiple libraries. In this case, it's only available at Valdosta. So I'm not going to click on request because then it's going to bring me towards actually requesting it, but you click on request and then it'll bring you to a screen where you can finalize where you want it to be sent. You can have it delivered to the main campus library or the downtown library, wherever is more convenient for you to pick up. And so that can be a really convenient option. And this usually doesn't take all that long, usually within 5 days. And it even remind you of that you can get the access to this book really quickly. Just a few things to note within the entry that's very similar to Galileo. There's a bunch of different options on how you can save it. You can export it to different citation management software, so EasyBib, RefWorks, and Note. You can export it into different formats so that it will upload to software like Excel and whatnot. You can print the article, email it to yourself, and if you want the link to get back to it, remember, this is just like Galileo. You're not going to want to use the browser bar link. This is just a very temporary link that says, hey, she can request it or access it. Maybe not necessarily in this specific case. Either way, this isn't going to bring you back to this source. It'll likely give you an error message. What you're going to want to do is to get back to this exact screen, you're going to want to hit permalink and copy and paste this link into your bookmark bar or wherever you're saving the link so that you can get back to this exact screen. Otherwise, it will, if you save this browser link right up here, it will not work within a certain period of time. One other thing I wanted to show you was in recommending different ways that you can help find other sources of information that are on the same similar topic, especially if you're stuck with research. Gil Find has very similar features that Galileo does. You can look at subjects to see how this particular book is indexed, so you can copy and paste these terms if any of them are much more helpful into the search bar, so you can expand or narrow down your search, and it may or may not be helpful. But also, like Galileo, if I clicked on this, it would bring me everything listed under academic libraries dash relations with faculty and curriculum. So that may not be helpful anymore. So if this is the entire term or parts of it might be, you haven't tried, copying and pasting can often be really helpful in searching like that. One other thing to note that let's pretend this wasn't available through Gil Express uh, for whatever reason. You can also request it through interlibrary loan. And what this will do is that it'll look for the closest library and then expand outward. So we can look at universities in Georgia that are outside the the USG system. We can look at public libraries that are in Georgia or outside of Georgia. So if this is a title that you really, really absolutely need, we can request it through interlibrary loan. And interlibrary loan can often take a little bit longer than Gil Express. So depending on what it is, in this case, it's a book, so we want to get to the book. But if you are going straight to interlibrary loan through the library homepage, it might default to article. So just make sure if you're requesting an article, you're on the article tab, a book, you're on the book tab, and whatnot. So a lot of it will auto-populate, especially the title, often the author, publication, publisher, that sort of thing. So then you'll fill out the where you what library you want it sent to, how long you have to find it. Some libraries will send it within just a few days. Some libraries, it will take forever to get here. Some libraries might say no. That's not very often that a library will say no to an interlibrary loan. There's usually a good reason for that. And then once you're done filling it out, you'll submit request, and then you can check on the status through your account, your CSU Library account, and it will email you when it's being sent and has arrived, and then you can get the book. Going back to what I mentioned earlier, let's just exit out of that. So let's say you requested it. You go to your account dropdown. You can keep track of the status right there. So I mentioned that you can save different articles. You can save different sources that you find, just like you can with Galileo. A few examples is, let's say this list that we generated of 31 books, that you want to come back to it. You got to go to class. You can click Save Query, and it will save it into your account. And if you want to be updated if we get more, it went away, but if you want updates for when we get new content, a new title gets added, you can click on that notification bell, and it'll notify you when new titles get added to this, information literacy and higher education, or related to any of these titles that you're trying to save. So let's say we're back from class, we want to go back to our search list. We go to saved items, and we go to save searches. And so there is, oops, there was our, so we clicked on the saved items, and we can go to saved searches, and there is where we were searching. And look, we have our 31 books back from this search engine, search session. Search history, let's say you didn't save it at all, and you forgot to hit save, it will save, um, you know, I think your last 10 it goes up to. Um, you're going to want to hit save search just to make sure that it's saved, but um, Gil Find will save, but make sure that you're also logged in. See, that's the key part, that um, you have to make sure you're logged in, and that's why I say log in first, because let's say you forget to hit save query and you run to class. If you come back, it may not be there. So it's always good to just be logged in so it'll save it and you can get back there. So let's say uh, this book was really helpful, so we want to make sure that we save it. And this one looks helpful. We want to go back to it, and let's go back to that one too. So when you come back to your research, you're logged in. And there are the 3 books that we saved. You can make labels that will appear on the right-hand side. So if you're doing multiple research projects at once, you can create a label for information literacy. If you're doing another research paper on propaganda and disinformation, you can create that label, so you can sort and easily find the sources that are meant for each project that you're working on. And one other thing that I wanted to mention was, like Galileo, there is a citation tool. It has 4 different options, the main 4 citation styles. And like I said before, you're always going to want to double check it with the citation manual. And we'll go over citation manuals and where you can find the best resources for that. But this is a great way to save citations quickly, but also to so you have the bulk of the citation already fixed. And when then you double check that titles and authors' last names, first names are where they're supposed to be, then you can obviously finalize it, and you don't have to go through, make sure every single little type out every little single period, dash, parentheses. It can be a lot, especially if you have a big research project. So that can be really helpful to do the bulk of the work for you for citations. And then you just, check out a citation manual and then easily make sure that everything's in the right place. So that is it for now for Gil Find. If you have any questions, always feel free to message me, email me, come to office hours, either in person or virtually, and I'm here to help. So that is it for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.